Hi, I'm James, and today I'm going to look at something that I picked up. It's an absolute bargain. Firefly Adventures. Now at the minute it's available in the UK for under 20 quid, and that is unbelievable as a price. I'll put a link in the description. If you do order it, if I ask you to do it through there, then I actually get a small cut of that as well. It doesn't cost you any extra. But it does mean you're getting it for less than half price, and I get a little bit of extra money that I can use towards buying things. Now, I have to be honest, I was a massive fan of the series and the film. Firefly and its treatment of the verse was very good, very clever. It took me a few episodes to actually realise it was very much an analogy for post-Civil War America. Nice little way to look at it, but I'm going to look through it, and we're just going to have a look at the game. Now, what attracted me to it is the fact it's for 1 to 5 players. Solo games are always good in my eyes. Now the box has got thump factor, you have to admit it with that. It's tightly packed, Gale Force 9 light tight fitting boxes. So let's have a look what we've got. I mean, I love the artwork to start off with. They look like the characters. That could be straight from the graphic novels. So we have the rule book. Not particularly massive rule book. It's what, 18 pages of rules plus the 2 front and back covers. Full colour throughout, but it's not a particularly complex game. There's a lot of rules in here which are intended as one-off jobs and things like that. So that's the rule book. Let's put it out of the way. You get 4 missions or jobs. More come in the expansion sets. I'll talk a bit more about them in a minute. There's plenty of community created ones. Had a look on Board Game Geek and they had a list, I think 27 different ones. So they are quite nice little scenarios. They give you the basic setup, special rules for it, and an event chart, because things will happen during the game. Very much in the style of the original series. And then we come into the main part of the box. Now, it looks nice, doesn't it? Nicely divided. It's even cleverer. Each of these is actually part of the game. It is actually a building. So you have the 5 smaller buildings, complete with, as anything by Gale Force 9, some special dice. They've got the 6 and the 1 are special. The 6 is a certain spaceship that may look familiar, and 1 is a sad face with a tear. They have special effects in the game, so you've got the special dice. You could easily use ordinary dice, but hey, they look nice. Now this is perhaps, to me, one of the nicest bits of the game. We have the figures. So we have the bad guys, although bad is a bit of a vague term with this. They are really nicely sculpted, hard plastic. I'll hold a couple up for the camera so you can see what we've got. So these are the sort of the melee armed thugs. Plenty of nice personality on these. You could use these in lots of other ways as well, I think. I hope I'm not holding up the same one twice. It would be entirely within my ability to do it. Oh, I like that. He's got a punch dagger. That's a nice little one. Probably usable in modern games, those. So you've got 5 of those. You then have 5 what they call cowboys. And these are basically gun armed. These are a bit more specific. You might struggle to use these outside perhaps a western, but they fit the feel of the game perfectly. They fit the background. They do look like they've walked straight out of the series, so you can't really fault them for that. They are quite nice figures. This one's got a little bit of a warped gun, but it's being hard plastic. That bit of hot water, we can soon solve that. Interestingly, that's a really long barreled revolver. I thought that was a rifle. That is actually a pistol. That's longer than an artillery Luger. Then we come to the crew. Now you get 5 of the crew with this, and there's 2 of each one. And there is logic to that. So looking at who we have. Okay, we've got Mal, and I think that is a perfectly cast figure for him. That is him. I'm going to pick them up at random. Jane, complete with woolly hat. Nice touch. We've got Zoe. Again, I like the poses. They've really captured the characters with this. We've got Kaylee. Love the fact she's got the really big wrench. And unfortunately, no dinosaurs, but you've got Wash. So you've got the 5 characters. Now, there are obviously characters missing. You've got Simon and River come in one expansion, and Inara and Shepherd come in another. Again, with extra missions. Then we've got, those are what we call the casual versions. But you then have the heroic versions. Okay, so pick them up at random. We've got Zoe, nicely posed, looks just right. Quite like that one, the pose there, complete with rather nice gun. Mal in a lovely firing pose, slightly awkward, but it does look, sorry, I'll take that back, that's Wash, sorry. Mal complete with the rather iconic trench coat, and Kaylee complete with toolbox. So the reason you have 2 of each is the characters can be covert or overt, casual or heroic in game terms. So that's how they work. Keeping going, we've got 4 more buildings. That's even marked up underneath, which is a nice touch. So we've got more buildings, and still more buildings. We've got a larger building, and they do look nice. They are numbered 1 to 10 to make your life easier. We get the character cards, really nice thick card with their special abilities, and you've got the casual and heroic. We've got the skills down the side. Different characters are good for different things, and their actions are actually different. So for example, in casual it takes 2 time units to move 3 squares, heroic 1 time unit to move 2. You've got brawling, medic, various other options on there. So you have your 5 characters. So they're quite nice, little quotes on the bottom as well. We have equipment cards, so let's open these up. Now what you do is it's designed for either single mission or for campaign play. Campaign play, you start with an amount of money and you can get extra in each one. I like the fact you've got Vera, standard weapons, leg carbines, yeah, the sniper rifle. You can have great fun if you're a bit of a weapons geek looking through some of these going, I know what that one's based on. I mean, I love some of the cards. Tight pants. A bit of time allows you to re-roll a persuasion negotiation test. That's quite a cute one. A very fine hat, a lower shirt. Yeah, these are definitely aimed at fans of the series. Fluffy pink dress, which basically, when you're heroic, the goons always move towards you and shoot at you, even if there's other people closer. So all the sort of bits of kit that you'd expect to find. The cunning hat, yeah. Plastic dinosaurs. They really have had fun with these. So those are the kit cards that you can use. You've got money, almost like a Monopoly sort of type of money. I know there is an expansion with sort of card money. So you've got different denominations. You've got 100s, 500s and thousands. Didn't need to be created, but hey, it's nice. Okay. Now we've got these. So different loot crates that you can come across. They give you special abilities. We've got downed cards. Now basically when you actually shot in this and your character goes down, what happens is you put the downed card there and it changes what actions you can do. Nice and simple. You've got the cards for the different thugs and the cowboys, but very cleverly on the other side you've actually got more advanced versions. So for example, let's pick, oh, the guy with the punch dagger, let's use him. Okay, normally his actions are brawl if he's next to somebody, if not move towards them. But if you use him as the punk, when he survives an attack you get to place a new thug down by him. And each of them has got slightly different abilities, which is a very, very nice touch. So it lets you play a bit more, it gives you yet more replayability. This is a very replayable game. So then we've got the challenge cards. So these are persuasion cards and they give you options for how you're going to deal with somebody. So for example, unfamiliar face, and it gives you two options. You can try a persuasion check where you use your persuasion skill plus 1 dice needing to roll 9 or more, or you can try it as a heroic, so it's going to reveal you to the bad guys, where you need to threaten somebody, where you need to roll 7 or more with skill and 1 dice, and there's a time factor difference. That takes you 3 actions, this takes you 1. On failure, everybody who can see you becomes alert, and if we succeed it lowers the time. So there's all different challenges. Again, massively changes what you've got, and some of them are not even persuasion. So a voice recognition entry, you can actually try and hack it, so you use a different skill. Skeptical reception, so you can actually again try and bluff them by using technology. So different challenges. When you then come to the technology challenges, these work in very much the same way. So again, very similar sort of things. I'm just looking at random, see if there's anything that uses anything other than technology. Yeah, so retina scanner, you can actually use brute force. And I love the fact it says, whose eye do we need? Is it me or is that a Jane Court? So again, work in a very similar way. So again, adding to the replay value. You don't always know what you're going to have to deal with each time. So let's take those out. So now we come to all the card bits. So we've got a few sheets of cards. We've got the time tracks, which go by the side of the board, and these are moved up, and it's always the person lowest down who activates. Every 10th one, then something special happens. If you remember the random event, that's where that comes in. We've got bodies, we've got number tokens used for lots of things. Intel, now intel is actually used in different ways in different scenarios. It can help you so you can actually find out your next job, for example. So you don't have to pay money to do your next job. Or sometimes they can be used in game. So they're pretty much effectively single-sided other than the numbers. Punch out nice and easily, as I've just found out there. We've then got a similar one with markers for the cowboys and thugs. The mule. Now there's no scenarios where that actually moves in this, but the first one I looked at online did have that. We've got challenge markers and wound markers, similar sort of thing. More wound markers, challenges, objectives, and again more time tracks. Then we've got the different action trackers markers. They go up and down the track. You've got terminals, cargo containers, patrol routes, because the enemy will move around patrol routes. You've got locks for the doors, so when you move to a door that might be locked, you turn it over and it tells you what you have to do to open it. It might actually be open. You might have to force it open. You might be able to try and persuade somebody to let you in. Very, very clever. Then we come to the boards. Now the boards, you've got, well, how many of those have we got? We've got 6 of those, and they are all double-sided. One side either transitions or you've got landing zones, roads, and on the other side you've then got sort of plain desert, which matches the background of the game very well. And then you have a big building. I mean, it's brilliant. You know, you actually have all the terrain, a 3D game in this box. I think it was put together by geniuses. The graphic design on this is phenomenal. It's very clever as a game. We'll do a playthrough at some point. The figures are nice. For what I've paid for it, I cannot believe the price, what you get in it. It's as expensive to actually go out and buy each of the supplements with a couple of figures in. Well, 4 figures because there's 2 in each. As a game, it looks very clever. I've seen plenty of reviews and playthroughs I think are good, and that was what persuaded me to buy it. But as for the setting, it's captured it amazingly. So hopefully that's been useful. See you soon. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please click on the like button below so that I know what people like and I know what to make more of. Alternatively, if you've enjoyed it and think you'd like to see more, please click on the subscribe button. That way you get notified by YouTube whenever I bring out a new video. And you never know, there might be something in there that you hadn't considered, because I do cover a variety of things on the channel. And finally, if you have a little bit of cash going, I now have a Patreon account. I'm always looking for patrons, because at the end of the day, let's be perfectly honest, it's a good way for me to get a little bit of money that I'll use to buy review items or to travel to museums and so on. I don't put a huge amount on that. At the minute, all we've got is one tier charging £1 a month, which just, as I said, helps cover my costs. See you soon.